Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to the Bums Happy Hour presented by Jack's Place, 7000 West Southwest Highway in Chicago Ridge, Illinois, the best little bar and slots lounge in the southwest suburbs of Chicago. I'm Bologna. I'm here with all four of my hermanos. We got Dougie Fresh. We got the Southside Bum Johnny. We got Joey P. What's going on, everyone? I titled this the Hockey Hangover episode. Are we all suffering from a little bit of a hockey hangover today?
I'll let Dougie go first because I know he is. What's up, hermanos?
He had fun.
Yeah. I went hard. I went overtime. My liver was working overtime. I don't feel like a winner either. So it's okay, Team USA.
That was definitely tough. It was definitely a tough game. I thought they were going to pull it off. I thought it was going to be the opposite of what happened in the Olympics a couple years ago. But you know what? What I like about the whole thing, what I liked about the tournament is that this is just a prelude to what's to come into the Olympics come next year. So I think everybody's very excited, especially you're going to have a lot more teams, obviously a lot more countries involved in the tournament next year. So you always want to be Canada, I mean, that's our rival. It's like, the Packers and the Bears and, it's like, the United States and Mexico and soccer. I mean, you just have those rivalries and, you always want the United States to come on top. I mean, the atmosphere was incredible in Boston. Good hockey all around from both teams. I thought it was a very entertaining game on both sides, a lot of hitting, a lot of drama. Kind of sucks that some of our players were hurt. Kind of was, I don't know about you guys, but did anybody miss Kane? Did anybody wanted Kane on that team?
Dude,
I was missing that on this team.
I thought about that during the first USA Canada game. And I was like, oh man, I wonder if Kane could have, they could have used Patrick Kane in this lineup, add a little bit of veteran presence and a little bit of offensive scoring to them. But yeah, it was a great week and a half of hockey. I think it came out of nowhere for a lot of people. You know what? Before we get more into hockey, I said we're drinking to forget, even though we want to remember this as a good tournament. So let's go around the room. I got a Modelo going, and then shout out to the Michter's Twitter account. Obviously, Michter's Distillery, my favorite. They said it's a good day to drink a Shanks or whatever. So I said, all right, cool, I'll drink a Shanks. So I've got a Shanks and a Modelo. Dougie, you're hurting? Do you got your patented hangover cue? Are you like hair of the dog, or what's going on?
So I have a Topo Chico for the bubblies.
With a little bit of tequila.
I have the fattest Bloody Mary going on right now. Extra spicy. So that's kind of where I'm going with this.
Is that 64 ouncer?
I don't know how many ounces is it. It's
32
probably 32.
Looks like the 7-Eleven bladder buster.
Yeah. But it's gonna get me through. I'm gonna muscle through.
Johnny, I saw you got an old style right there.
Yeah, I told you. I had a talk with you. Went to the gym and I came back and I just opened up a tall boy of old style. Just I know it's not protein, but fuck, it is for me. So
close enough. Close enough.
Recovery.
Hermano, what do you got going on? How you kicking
Hermanos, yeah, no, obviously my Modelo, my patented Modelo. I poured me some of this new Benny's pick that just came in, this foolproof Benny's pick. So we'll see how that goes.
Hell yeah.
We'll see.
But yeah, I know I cut the promo last night after the game was over. One, I want to give credit to all of us as the Chicago sports bums. I know Jose's in the comments, our hermano down in Texas. He got involved. We were all doing the Blackhawks drinking game for Team USA. And my initial thought was, one, obviously hockey wins the week. Like there was no real sports. The NBA is at a lull, and they kind of cucked the NBA last weekend and now just all of this week. But we're starving. The bums, the Chicago sports bums, are starving for just anything worthwhile or competitive, because we put on a show last night. I'm proud of everybody. I just thought to myself, like, imagine a Blackhawks playoff run or a Bears playoff or like a White Sox team that is like in contention for something. Like, we're just starved for something good. And I'm waiting for the day. I mean, we started this thing a couple years ago and we really haven't had much success in Chicago sports. And this hockey is something we desperately needed. So maybe that's what we're going to have to do. I told you guys in the group chat, maybe more international hockey, and maybe you guys can rally around the United States soccer team next year when we got the World Cup. It's stuff like that. We're going to have to figure it out because the Chicago teams aren't doing it for us.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about that last night when you had brought that up. I was trying to think of how we could do the drinking rules for a soccer match. Because obviously, goals are not as frequent, I don't know. We'd have to think. I want to come up with something really good.
Well,
Cards.
I think
we can.
I
Do
think what it is
cards.
kind of, yeah. I think what it is for soccer is kind of similar to what it is for hockey. So I think that it could be a possibility where, it all depends on the matchup as well too. We could come up with something because obviously me and Peter we watch soccer pretty frequently, so we could come up with some kind of a bingo card or something like that when things occur in a World Cup match that can make it very entertaining for not only us but for the audience and drinking as well too. So we have to think about it. We'll have to think of it in the lab and see what's going on.
Yeah, but I was saying to get the vibes that high, I'm gonna need 3 red cards in 9 seconds right out of the gates.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. There's no real fight. There's no fighting. So yeah, you need more like fan interaction, stuff like that. I think the Blackhawks drinking rules, they do correlate to soccer fairly well. I think we have to get the beer more involved. The beer in our hockey games is more of just for rallies and like, for desperate times when teams are down. I think for a 90-minute soccer game, I think you get the beer more involved. So we're doing more beer and less like shots or liquor shots because there is less scoring. Although you never know. I know, Dougie, most United States games are low scoring games because they're not as great. But they are a good team. I promise you guys, they're an up and coming team. They got a lot of good talent. There's a possibility they put like 3-4 goals in net against the bad team, and then we're having fun.
Hell yeah. I'm all about it. But yeah, I got a few text messages and DMs last night just about people just saying like, my whole feed is nothing but you guys doing shots and everything and people living vicariously through us. I'm like, you don't have to live vicariously through us. I mean, unless you don't want to drink or anything, you don't have to, but I mean, shit, join in, and it was fun, man. We were firing on all cylinders, man. I mean,
the group chat was going. We had like, everyone's making videos and things, and it was awesome. Before we talk,
I gotta say just one thing real quick.
Sandy.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just getting to Sandy super chat. Thank you, Sandy. We love you. Happy Friday. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, Sandy.
Yeah, happy Friday. We're here for the long haul. I got nothing to do today. This might be an extended Bums Happy Hour because I was feeling
minimum
the vibes
5-hour show.
Minimum.
I'm feeling the vibes again today. But yeah, so yeah, what were you gonna say, Johnny?
Yeah, just real quick. Just one last thing on that hockey game. I had those goosebumps again. Like I haven't had those like my heart was pounding, like the goosebumps. Like just it felt so good to be involved in a game that like just. I know it's a 4-game tournament. It was a small tournament. I don't care when it's United States, Canada. It's always must see TV. It's always regardless if it was the Chuck E. Cheese tournament or it was whatever. I'm still gonna fucking watch it. So my thing is that it was good to have that feeling again. And Peter, you mentioned it just to kind of piggyback off what you were saying is that we desperately need something for one of our sports teams to fucking hit. Bears, they might be on the cusp. We're seeing that might be our closest thing to like getting to the playoffs. But I thought that was going to happen last year and it didn't. So, but yeah, I just need something. Maybe the Sox might surprise everybody. I'm just optimistic right now. but I'm also, I've been
You're drinking.
So.
Yeah.
You're really drinking, Danny.
I don't know. There's something else in those old styles to think the White Sox are doing something.
Yeah, it's called fun.
But yeah, it was fun. And Jason, it was funny. Like right when they went to overtime, Jason texted me and he's like, "My old age can't handle OT anymore." And I told him anxiety on 100,000 trillion. And we said the same thing. It felt like an old Blackhawks game. We haven't had that feeling in a while. Those old. I mean, you're living and dying with every pass, every trip across the ice, and it was awesome. And it's just like we haven't had a meaningful game in Chicago in a while. And yeah, like we could get up for Bears Packers and different regular season Bears games, but they're different, right? There's no stakes to it except for bragging rights. Whereas this was an exhibition, but it was like a little bit. It felt like a little bit more than bragging rights. This felt like a playoff game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a playoff game, and also what it brings now is a whole new dynamic. And I think that why so many gravitated towards this tournament and all its glory is because you have to wait every 4 years, right, for the Olympics. So this is actually getting you, if they do it every year, I mean, you're getting to not have to wait for the Olympics every 4 years to experience that.
So I have an idea, and it just came across because this happens in Europe, and I think that it would be nice if they did something like this, similar to what they do. Is every 4 years, they have the Euros. They have the Euros, so they have all the European teams like get together and play. I think it'll be real cool, so that way there's not that big of a gap from 4 years. So the Olympics are next year, right? 2026. Wait, is it 26 or 2028?
No, it's 2026.
2026.
Yeah,
so
2026.
I would say in 2028 they just get a same format. Get a bunch of like all the teams, the best teams, and play them in that tournament. It could be short. It doesn't have to be big. Because that was fun. The 4 teams could be fun. They could figure something out as like winner goes on. It doesn't even have to be like a format like they did the last time. They just figure something out so it could be small. So you're not like you can even do this maybe after the NHL hockey season is over. So that way you're not worried about people getting hurt or injured. But I feel like maybe they do something like that so that way we're not waiting every 4 years. We could wait like 2 years and then they could kind of do something like that as far as the tournament, just like how UEFA does it with their European teams.
Yeah, the NHL announced it already. I was watching the Spit and Chicklets earlier today, and they were talking about how after the Olympics, instead of this 4 nations tournament, they already announced they're doing like the Hockey World Cup. So there's going to be more teams involved. So we're going to get international hockey every 2 years, just like you mentioned. Just like soccer, for the next 12 years. So they already committed for the next 12 years that we're going to get international hockey every 2 years. And that's perfect. That's just the right amount of time of waiting to like keep everyone. You can't do it every year because then it loses its luster. But every 2 years, you get built up and you get that thing. And the one thing was, this was a great start, but obviously you're still missing Russia. And that's like the big other team that like you kind of want to, Canada, Russia has a long history. United States, Russia obviously has a long history. So like you add that other team into the mix and shit could get really good. But yeah, I think this was an awesome step for the NHL. I saw a bunch of different people saying like this, they could really capitalize on this and kind of like, try to catapult this entire league, just take it the next step up. And I think they're doing the right thing, committing to more international hockey, get your teams out there. The one thing I thought of that they can do to kind of like build up your stars is they used to do it for the Winter Classic, but they need almost like a off-season documentary type show. Like how Netflix did the F1 and the golf, like the full swing, or even like Hard Knocks. They did it. NHL used to do Hard Knocks for Winter Classic. But really try to get your stars out there because there's a bunch of stars, but people don't really know them unless you're really following hockey. And I thought like this is like the perfect step to like capitalize on this, make like a Netflix doc or make your own docs about like Connor Bedard and Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews and the Kachuk brothers are superstars. Nobody knew, like casual fans didn't know the Kachuk brothers up until last week. Mm-hmm. And now like I'm seeing everybody, and like everybody wants Brady Kachuk on the Blackhawks, and it's like, you know, like they're stars now, but you got to capitalize them to keep them stars.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, like before they made that announcement today or whatever, I thought to myself, the way that they could definitely improve this would be, yes, to add Russia. And then instead of going with like a lackluster sixth country, you go with like a world team. And then you get a mix. You get a mix of what's left, and then you
Finland,
make this,
Germany, Norway.
Yeah. Because you don't want to like, you know, because if you add like a sixth country there, and they're kind of like that weak link, then it really loses its luster as well. You know, because then you just got little brother getting beat up, you know, the entire time.
Boy.
Exactly, or whatever. The other thing that I really feel like the NHL kind of missed on, and this is not me being a homer. 100%, those games should have been in Chicago. They should have just like listened to the national anthem and how the Chicago fans react to the national anthem, and that should have been more than enough to sell it. Okay. You know, yes, I get, you know, Boston does the whole like sing along thing and everything like that. I mean, that's cool too. But I mean, could you imagine like what that place would have been like last night with the national anthem on home ice with, you know, US versus Canada in a championship? I mean, dude, you hear it, you feel it on a Blackhawks game on a shitty team. Could you imagine? Yeah. Like, I mean, I've been there for playoff games. Yeah. It's electric. Like it's breathtaking. But like I think that was a miss. Why they chose Boston, I'm not really positive. Maybe it was a logistics thing.
Yeah, maybe because they played some games in Canada. You know,
they played Montreal, so they basically, they basically could have bust them there. You know, but that was just two small critiques. That's all.
So I heard somewhere, and this all is now like making sense to me now, because when you said that they're going to do something in 2028. The United Center, they put that out there that I guess the United Center is going to host something big. They didn't say what it was, but they said there was going to be something like, you know, for hockey fans and big. I'm thinking that Chicago is has to be one
final.
Yes. Either a final or, you know, one of the hosts to one of the games, because we're diverse. We got a diverse melting pot of people. So you're definitely going to have so many people, whether it's Germany, Canada, Finland, Sweden, you know, Russia as well too. Like you have all these teams. I think that would be a big hit, especially Dougie. You're right. I think hosting the final, if it's like the United States, would be a big deal. So I like that idea. The one thing I will say, Dougie, you mentioned it about the having that sixth team, that last team.
Yeah.
I do like the underdog. I do like the Cinderella team. Because sometimes those are like, you have this in the Final Four, you have these in those tournaments, and you have same thing with the World Baseball Classic as well too. Sometimes you have those underdogs. So you might have somebody. I was looking at some of the rankings for the men's like hockey rankings that they have, and I even think too, like even if you have that sixth team, as you know, I don't know who else would be a part of that hockey core of teams, but I think you could have like that Cinderella team to make things like interesting. But yeah, I in a sense I do agree with you too. Like it might be so watered down where it's going to be like, fuck, like this is an easy game. They're going to score like fucking 12 goals against, I don't know. And I'm not saying this, but no, I'm not going to say it, but yeah, it's just, you know, it could be hit or miss on that 6 team, but yeah, I like the whole 6 team format. I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, one last thing that like I noticed, Dougie, you mentioned like the stuff that bothered you. I thought the Boston crowd was fine. You know, like the Johnny Hockey chants were awesome. That was like a really like, you know, like tugs at the heartstrings and stuff. The broadcast, they kept playing the miracle speech and just hockey in general. And I don't mean to keep harkening back to soccer, but it is a very much similar path to where like the United States hockey team and the United States soccer team at this point in time, they're not underdogs anymore. Like you don't act like, oh, this is a huge, you just beat Canada 6 days ago. Like, why do you have to play the miracle speech as if like this is gonna be some big, like, act like you've been there at least. Like the United States soccer team does the same thing whenever they play like England. Like England hasn't beaten us in like 40 years, but whenever you play England, they act like, it's Little Mac versus Mike Tyson in Punch-Out, where like it's the same thing with like you beat Canada 6 days ago. You should expect to be beating them. You're at the same level. I mean, I know hockey is their, it's their sport and they have all the stars, but the United States is just as good. You look at the salaries, they're right there with each other. So it's the one thing that bothered me. And I mean, you don't see that in most sports because like, obviously like United States basketball just dominates thoroughly and everything else. But like hockey and soccer are the two sports where it's like, you're not underdogs anymore. Just act like you're the favorite because you're good, man.
Yeah, I agree. That did bother me as well. I thought that they missed on that because they really could have done like a whole, that was a miracle then, this is expected now type thing. They could have really, like hammered that home. And yeah, I feel like, yeah, you're right. They did. They totally missed that, you got to expect it, I mean, yeah. And to your point or whatever, not only did they beat Canada, not that long ago, but Canada also couldn't, not only could they not beat them the first time, they couldn't beat them in regulation the second time. So, I mean, you take a good team to overtime. I mean, end of the day, you can't leave McJesus on the doorstep.
Wide open.
Right in the slot.
Jason had that good tweet where it's like, you left the best player in hockey and open, like no one within 40 feet of him. I was like, son of a bitch. That, and in the group text, I was like, Austin Matthews is going to win it for the United States. He had like 3 clear chances. And obviously Binnington was awesome. He was a great goalie. But like, if you just finish one of those chances, obviously, then I got bragging rights saying like I called it. But it just, they couldn't finish, man. If you play that game 100 times, I think it's 50-50. Like, it really is that close.
Yeah.
I mean, not to step on you, Joey, but they out hit him. They out hit him. I mean, they punched him in the mouth way harder than Canada. Canada, I don't want to say got lucky. They won, everything like that. But great goaltending. I mean, that block shot or whatever, big time Jalmerson hammer vibes, man. I mean, it was a good night.
You know what? It just real quick, it just reminded me of like when the Ducks and the Blackhawks would face off each other. The Ducks would always just beat the crap out of the Hawks all the time, but the Blackhawks just had so much good offense that, I mean, it was similar. Like Canada, anytime they would have the puck, they would have more possession with the puck. I mean, it was just anytime that the USA would score, it would just be I'm not saying lucky shots or anything like that, but hey Gabriel. But I would just say that it was it was just they need that one guy. Austin Matthews wasn't that guy in this tournament, and they just need that guy like a Patrick Kane. And obviously Patrick Kane's getting a little bit older, so you're going to need somebody else to step up here coming into the Olympics next year. But whoever that is, I hope they're a lot better and they could score, because like I said, I mean, you could hit anybody so much, but the fact that Canada has scores, they have a McDavid, they have like scoring opportunities so many times, not they're going to win, and like I said, this could have went back and forth if they was in a 7-game tournament. Who knows who would have won this series, but it's must-see TV. So I'm glad that the tournament happened. It was awesome. I was excited. I was pumped to watch it last night. And like I said, it's good to hear that they're going to do this more often.
I'm going to issue a challenge to all the non-casual hockey fans that actually tuned in at bars, restaurants, or even with family and friends at home. I challenge you, if you enjoyed it so much, which I know many of us did, start watching this season's Stanley Cup playoffs and you'll get hooked. Johnny, you mentioned it a little bit earlier about Cinderella teams. Every season in the Stanley Cup playoffs, you'll pull for the Florida Panthers maybe, and then they come out on top. You just never know. It's such a crapshoot every single season in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and it's that much hype, emotion. The stadiums are always rocking on TV. Yeah. So it's just a whole different atmosphere compared to other playoffs from other sports. So definitely give it a shot. That's my challenge to you.
I thought your challenge was going to be, if you like this hockey, start watching Blackhawks hockey now. And I'm like, no, don't do that.
No.
In a couple years. I was like, you're going to ruin it for everybody. Julie's saying the happy hour is not sounding so happy. We're just talking hockey. But we got a couple super chats. Our guy Gordo, shout out Gordo. T's and P's to Gordo, not because of what's going on with his health. He's on the mend. He's in recovery. But Hooters announced that they're filing bankruptcy today. And I said, Gordo doesn't go to Hooters for 6 weeks, and look what happens.
Yeah, they're just falling apart.
I hate to blame my guy Gordo, but we need you on the mend to put that, to the stimulus, if you will. You got to stimulate the economy of Hooters. So hopefully,
I haven't had Hooters in a long time. That sounds actually good. We got to get the countryside.
We got to get the countryside Hooters with my man Gordo as soon as he gets the green flag.
We got to get the band back together.
I mentioned I have nothing to do, so this podcast can go along. She says, here's $10 to put my chonis away. And she says that because I have a pile of laundry. I did a bunch of laundry today, and it's not put away. It's just sitting. So yeah, maybe
put the chonis away, man.
Put the chonis away. All right. That was enough hockey talk. We did 28 minutes of hockey talk, and it was good. I'm proud of everybody.
Yeah. It's a good conversation.
So we're gonna play an ad for Jack's Place, and then we're gonna get to the nonsense because it is the happy hour. We did say it's just friends sitting around the bar talking shop and talking nonsense. So we're gonna get to that. The Bum's Happy Hour is presented by Jack's Place. Located at 7000 West Southwest Highway, Jack's Place is the best little bar and slots lounge in the southwest suburbs. Whether you're looking for a live music night, a comedy night, or a Chicago Sports Bums event, Jack's Place is the place to be. Major League Baseball and March Madness is just around the corner, and Jack's Place is the perfect spot to cheer on your favorite team. Jack's Place is proudly female-owned and operated. Next time you're in the southwest suburbs, stop by Jack's Place and tell them the Chicago Sports Bums sent you. All right, so thank you to Jack's Place. It is baseball. White Sox play tomorrow. I know Gabriel is in the comments. I owe the Bums in the Bleachers a bet from last year. I'm supposed to dress in all Cubs gear for either a podcast or some sort of thing. Praz has been waiting on that for a while. Gabriel said, me and Jason.
Yeah, will he do it though?
Yeah. They're still waiting for him to do the face paint bet for him.
You know what would be better if he is in the Cubs stuff and he does the kiss makeup as well too.
Johnny, you're a genius.
Hold on. I just said we were done with the hockey talk for the day, but our guy Taco is saying, I have something to confess. The United States-Canada game was the first game I've ever watched on TV ever. That's good stuff.
Yeah, because he goes to so many games in person.
Whoa.
We're gonna have to get him in. I don't know. I know he's obviously a Chiefs fan and a Kansas City Royals fan. Maybe we convert him into a Blackhawks fan? Taco. I mean, keep the ketchup at home, but everything else, we dig it, man.
No, you know what? No. If you could bring the ketchup, it's fine. As long as you watch the hockey, you're good. That's
not on the hot dog.
We won't bust balls on that.
Yeah. Keep it on the potatoes.
All right. So I had this story sitting in my back pocket for the better part of 2 months. Jason's in the comments. He knows about this. My question for the group, and we said last time us four did the happy hour, we did like a round robin question of the week, and it was fun. And it's like everybody brings a topic and then we'll just answer it. And my question for the group is, what's something that you're too embarrassed to admit, or like you don't want to admit publicly? And mine is, like, Jason knows this story. We went to a Michter's tasting at the Brownstone in the city. I think it was like November-ish. And for those that don't know, like I typically drive a pickup truck for work, and that's my like daily driver. Sometimes I'll use Julie's car if she doesn't have plans or she, like the kids are staying home or whatever. But that is particular evening, she needed the car. So I borrowed the family's Prius. We have a Prius that like my sister uses, my dad uses, whoever's, because we have 3 pickup trucks in the family, and like whoever doesn't need can't drive the truck, drive the Prius. It sits at my parents' driveway. Whoever needs it takes it. So I took the Prius, drove to the brownstone. I found a parking spot right in front of the brownstone. And I'll tell you this right now. If it's my pickup truck and a trailer, any type of hitch trailer, any type of truck and trailer, I could back it up miles at a time, like blocks at a time. I could park 3-point turns, whatever you need. For some reason, I drove that Prius to the brownstone, and there is a parking spot the size of F-250, and I fucking couldn't parallel park that thing. I hadn't, and I'll admit it, like we moved out from the city to the suburbs years ago. I mean, I was a kid at the time. I used to drive over to Johnny's house, my uncle's house, a lot more often. I hadn't parallel parked in probably more than a year. It was literally, the Prius is the size of a wheelbarrow. And after 2 tries, I got embarrassed because there was someone behind me, and I left. And I did a lap around the block. I was like, "Fuck this, I'm out." And I was like,
it was like that scene in Snatch where you could have landed a jumbo fucking jet in there, huh? You couldn't park. You know what? Listen, Peter, hold on. Suburbs people,
that's embarrassing though.
No. The suburb people, I get that. I get that a lot, where they can't parallel park. My buddy Dan, obviously, Dan. He was trying to parallel park, and it took him like literally maybe 5 minutes, and the parking space was fucking huge. And he has a truck, but still, it was a huge space, and he couldn't do it. Like I had to help him try to navigate him to parallel park. For whatever, obviously, I know for whatever reason you guys have driveways and stuff like that. It's a lot easier just to go and park your car in the garage. When you're in the city, you have to maneuver yourself and do all these different things like you're a fucking bus driver and just try to figure out where you're going. But I'll cut some slack on that. Because you didn't grow up. You grew up in the suburbs. You didn't grow up in the city. So I mean, there's no shame into that. So I can't.
No, but I drove into the city enough. When I had my cars, we're going to talk about like first cars and cars of the past in a little bit, but like I was able to parallel park at one time in my life. And Erin's in the comments says it doesn't have a backup camera though. Like I grew up, I'm showing my age. Backup cameras didn't exist until I was like 30, so it's like, I've never relied on a backup camera and the beeps and the side mirrors. I should have been able to parallel. Dude, I'm not kidding you. This has been weighing on me since November. I was like, I can't believe I wasn't able to park that car. I've been thinking
about yourself up on it. It's okay.
It's all right, Peter, because exactly that. Erin's comment there about the backup camera, I'll tell you. My car, my Kia was the first one I ever got. And I, like you, I tried to use the backup camera to parallel park once, and it's ruined me ever since. So I think I've forgotten how to parallel park because of that damn backup camera now.
Yeah. So my question to the group is, what's something like embarrassing that you're too embarrassed to admit, but you're gonna have to do it for the podcast?
I'll go first. It's just gonna be really weird and it's gonna sound like bullshit, but it's 100% factual. Mary will tell you. I, for the life of me, cannot make Kraft macaroni and cheese.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I don't know, dude. I don't know what it is. Like I follow it to a T and it comes out like shit every single time. Mary, if we want macaroni and cheese and it's Kraft, Mary has to make it. I fuck it up. I don't know how. I don't know. I measure everything. I do everything to the T. It just turns out like shit. Like the noodles are flat, whatever. I don't know. I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you literally post your amazing videos or your pictures of dinner every day.
Yeah.
And you're telling me like a 10-minute craft box, no dice?
No dice.
I
man.
might have to record a video for you. I'll send it to you privately. I won't even post it because I do Kraft mac and cheese for the kids like once or twice a week.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, if it's easy, Mac, I'm good. Just put it in the
That's
microwave.
too easy.
But dude, I don't know what it is, man, and it bothers me. But like I don't know. I think it might be one of those things to where like I'm so far in my head about it that I do something subconsciously and fuck it up. I have no idea.
Interesting.
I've never.
Johnny, what are you
never
embarrassed
told
about?
anybody that.
So mine's is also food related as well too. And obviously I've told you guys that I'm pretty good at cooking. I do a pretty good job. Obviously, none of you guys have ever tasted. Well, obviously Peter has with my ultimate hot dog, but that was like 30
Ultimate
years
hot dogs. I haven't tried
Those were
the
good.
ultimate hot dog since like 1997 though, so it's been a while.
Yes, those were good. But know how to cook a steak, know how to cook enchiladas really good. And this is very embarrassing because I am of Mexican American or a Mexican heritage and all that. I have a very, very hard time cooking rice. I can't cook rice at all. I don't know what it is where it's like I feel like there's times where I've done it before. My mom showed me and I still fuck it up. Like it's the timing of it. Like it just how like what you put in there, the timing, making it like just everything. I always fuck it up for some reason and I can never do it. So I can't cook rice for some reason. I don't know. I always have to get those Uncle Ben's like
The
minute
pre-made
races
or
or something.
the
Like
minute
that's the only rice I could do. Yeah.
I will say though, rice is a lot harder, at least in my head, than Kraft mac and cheese. So at least it's a step up from Dougie.
Yeah.
But being of Mexican heritage and all that, you would think that I would be a little bit easier to making rice, and I can't do it. Another thing too is I have a hard time cooking pasta, any pasta, spaghetti, like ravioli. I can't, I judge it incorrectly. It's like, I don't know if I'm doing it well, obviously I'm doing it incorrectly because sometimes when I make it, I fuck everything up. So, yeah, I have a hard time doing it. But once I feel, Sandra says she can help me out. So I'll have Sandra come to my place and she'll help me out. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I can't do it. It's always hard.
Dude, I understand like how you can really like fuck up ravioli because ravioli is like one of those like beasts, to where like it's at that perfect level of cooked or that shit's exploding and everything coming out of the middle, man. So there's
no in between. Yeah,
no.
Mailman Jack saying I can't fold a t-shirt. Julie might argue because she just said I haven't folded my laundry, but Johnny knows this. I worked at American Eagle like in high school and college, so I could fold jeans, shirts, sweaters, hoodies, underwear. I'll fold anything. I'm good at folding. I just know I don't do it anymore.
You worked at American Eagle?
I thought you knew that. Yeah, I worked at American Eagle at Orland Mall.
Huh.
Oh no, that was Abercrombie and Fitch.
Abercrombie and Fitch or Hollister were the other ones.
I wasn't that handsome. I was handsome. I wasn't Abercrombie.
Oh my gosh! Anytime you went into those like
those
stores, it smelled like fucking cologne. Like
that
strong scent. I only could go. I only could be there for like maybe a minute, then I'm fucking out of there. I couldn't take the smell.
It's like they had the old 90s wrestler, the model Rick Martel, in there with his perfume.
Oh yeah, the fragrance. Yeah.
Arrogance. It was called Arrogance. If I
Arrogance,
remember.
That's totally why I never went to those stores. It was the smells, not because they didn't have my size, but just because of the smells. 100%.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dougie. Joey, what do you got? What are you embarrassed to admit?
Well, I could go with the obvious that I can't be mean to anyone. I don't know what's wrong with me. Dougie is.
You suck at that.
I suck at being mean to people. I really do. But I'm working on that. So I'm hoping that you guys can teach me.
We just got to get you like how, like there's like shadowing a cop, like a ride along with the police. Yeah, like with a police officer. We just need you
Yeah.
to hang out with Jason for like 5 days. Just shadow Jason, shadow Jason day and night for 5 days. He'll turn you.
Dude, it's like the Hooked on Phonics by HBIC, Hooked on Asshole.
Just next time I see Joey, just be pissed off at the world.
Right, exactly.
You know, I seriously am
Or
from
what if it turns? What if Joey P is shadowing Jason and somehow Jason turns nicer than Joey, like Mr. Rogers or something?
I'm not sure if I can handle a nice Jason.
This is an oil and water situation. I kind of need to see the results.
It really is. So that's something to strive for. But we'll see.
So that's your answer.
No, I'm
You're
just
nice?
BSing. No, something. Well, some of you close to me know, but if super embarrassing for me, I cannot consume a meal like in under 10 minutes. I need like a full long ass hour to finish the meal. I'm a
so you chew your food 32 times.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm like savoring every bite, and while you're on dessert, I got the appetizer. So, I'm still working on the soup or the salad when you're already on dessert. So I apologize about it regularly, profusely, but it's embarrassing. So you better let me get to the restaurant an hour before everybody else eats.
Yeah. It was that was the night coming back from Indy. We stopped at Cracker Barrel, and that poor waitress, she just came up about 7 times. She's like, "How we doing, honey? You still doing good?"
I'm the 5-year-old. Dougie's my daddy.
Yeah, I never really
Cracker Barrel
realized.
sounds good right now.
I never really realized it, Joey, until we did the 108 day. After 108 day, we went to Totonilco, and one, it's because I'm a fat ass, but 2, we work outside. You know, like I'm usually with my crew. We pick up food, like we're on a schedule. I eat fast. I eat very fast, and obviously, it's like my tacos were there and gone, and Joey was on like his 3rd bite, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I was like, I never really put 2 and 2 together, but yeah, I know my daughter, but like a lot of my family are slow eaters. I'm the one that's like always in a hurry.
Yeah. So embarrassing times, but we'll see. I'll try to work on those times to improve them.
We got nowhere to be. Take your time, Joey.
When's the combine, Dougie? Combine down in Indy.
Oh, dude. Yeah, we can do a combine.
So the moral of the story is Peter's gonna pick you guys up, gonna take you guys over here, try to parallel park. Then you guys come up, and Dougie and me will make rice or spaghetti or I'm sorry, macaroni and cheese. And then Joey will eat in under less than an hour. So we're gonna make this work.
I like
that.
Mm-hmm. All right, Joey. I talked about parallel parking, and I think your topic goes along with that. We're turning into car guys today, right? We don't really talk shop when it comes to cars nowadays. But what do you got for the group?
Just something fun, we're having some drinks and got some friends down here in the comments. Anybody can obviously jump in the comments and share any of these Q&As with us too. So we can share in this, but the idea was, what was your first car, right? And what's the dream car that you still haven't probably accomplished yet? Maybe you have, but those that are still striving, they haven't gotten that one dream car yet. So Peter, you want me to kick it off?
If you want to kick it off, we'll go counterclockwise because I want to get the Johnny's answer before. So you start, Joey, and then we'll go around the room.
Okay. All right. So my first car, when I was 17 years old, my dad took me on Western Avenue because the best used cars are found on Western Avenue on the south side.
Hell yeah.
So Pops took me to 59th and Western, and my eyes were glazed over as a cool 17-year-old at St. Lawrence High School with my hair slicked back and hairnet on when I saw this 1990 Lincoln Continental.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right.
It was platinum gray. It had the air ride suspension. It had
20 feet long.
It was a boat. It was a boat, and they only wanted $3,000 for it. And my dad's like, "Oh, there's gonna be a bad transmission in there probably, but you sure you're gonna pay for this?" I'm like, "I won't pay for it." And oh man, that car, the wife still like, well, I won't get into too many details. But, well, I'll do my best Dwayne the Rock Johnson impression, but she still to this day loved that car because of how smooth it was. It was almost like being on a boat because all the airbag suspension and stuff that car
and the
had.
back seat was basically a queen bed, right?
Yes. Yeah, they don't make cars like that anymore. That thing was fucking huge.
It was huge. It was definitely for me, it was more than I could have asked for. Of course, they gave me tons of problems. I took it to the Ford dealer in Countryside, Peter off LaGrange, and they made fun of me. They're like, "What are you doing with this old grandpa's car?" And I was like, "Well, I fell in love with it. I'm sorry." So yeah, I regularly had to keep repairing it, but it got me through about 4 or 5 years. Definitely got me through the first couple of years of college. So
damn. So yeah.
I wish it
matters.
Yeah, and my dad took it over because he's like, "You're not selling that thing. I'm taking it." So my dad took it over for a bit too. So I'll always remember that car. It was my first, and it was, you see, there she goes. She loved that car.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my first car. So, but my dream car appeared many times in movies in the 80s and 90s, and still to this day, it is a gasoline guzzler. But just the look of it is so iconic. And I've seen several of them at old antique car shows and like car museums. And I'd still, if I could today, acquire one. And that's an old school 80s Firebird. The
80s Firebird?
The one with that's like normally all painted black with the
flaming eagle.
Golden Eagle. Oh my God, yes. That car still to this day. I had like the Matchbox cars growing up. I had the little. I was just talking to Jason last weekend about I used to put model cars together with like glue guns and stuff growing up, and I'd have to every single one that came out of it didn't even color. I would repaint it. If I had to, just to keep playing with those. But yeah, that's still my dream car to this day. I hope to acquire one before it's all said and done.
Hell yeah. We're getting to the point of a midlife crisis. You need a little bit of frivolous spending. Now, if you turn to my left, my old backdrop, all the whiskey behind you and all the whiskey behind you and all of us, maybe less booze and more automobiles, you probably could have been able to spend that money on a Firebird. But Tequila Bums content coming next week.
Exactly. Yes, it is.
Johnny, what do you got? Let's get to the Johnny stories.
Yes,
because I love. I'm not even gonna spoil it. Johnny, you explain it, and then I'll share my memories of Johnny's car.
Yep. So. You're talking about a grandpa car, Joey. Mine's was a mom's soccer car. This was the ultimate van back in '93. It was a Dodge Caravan that I had. My dad, he passed that along to me when I was a senior in high school, and I was the only one that was driving from my friends, and I thought it was the best thing in the world. Like when you're a senior in high school and you have a car, I don't care what he could have gave me a fucking bus. I would have been fucking okay with it. It's just the privilege of just having your own vehicle at the time. And you're 18. It's a van. You know what I'm saying? Like you have all these like amenities when it comes with that. But I love that car. I thought that it was great. Obviously, I have so many stories with it as well too. Some good, some bad as well too. One thing about that car that was no fault of mine, but it was a crash test dummy type of car. I would have gotten in so many accidents. On my 18th birthday, I got hit as I'm going to school by a semi truck. It popped the grill in the front. So, I just
it had no grill.
That kind of sucked for my 18th birthday. But And then one other time too, I remember I was like, I was in Pilsen, and it was like right by Skylark, if you know where Skylark is at. I was getting off the highway, I was turning left to go on Halstead, and some lady just was running a red light, hit me on the side. And the one thing that I'm like, all right, obviously everybody's okay, nothing happened. She had her kid in the front of the car.
Ooh.
So that was the one thing I was a little bit more upset about. Anything was just that she had her kid in the front, and she was just saying, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then, obviously it kind of sucked at that point. But yeah, my one side of my car, you couldn't get on the side, so you had to go like through the passenger side to get through it. But I've had a lot of good times with that.
We had a lot of good times with that car.
Yes, obviously, when Peter was in Moraine as well too. We had a lot of good times as well too. It would be a nice little carriage to haul a bunch of people.
It's a people mover.
It was a people mover. Yeah,
mover.
You needed it was a good transportation vehicle, because like I said, we had a lot of friends, so we would it was great.
We're going to the pool hall.
Yeah, before I share my stories about Johnny's car, we're gonna get the Yumpers super chat. He says, "Hermanos, $4.99. We're talking cars here. My man just bought a brand new vehicle, so congratulations to him and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
They just got a new Mazda, so congrats to them." Yeah, Johnny. We used to call it was a red Caravan. We used to call it the Big Red Machine, and by the time he got into all his crashes, it looked like Kane the wrestler. It was red. It was red and black all over. And I was like, we used to just call it the Big Red Machine. And the thing that I don't know when it happened, it was when you got the car, or maybe later. You took the middle bench seats out.
Oh, yeah.
So there was so much room in there. So like you could have Johnny driving, someone sitting shotgun, other people all the way in the rear bench seats, and then that middle, I mean, illegal at the time, no seatbelt. You could just pack it with people. You could probably fit 12, 13 people in that car, because like everyone just sits crisscross applesauce in the van, and we're just hauling a full ass soccer team in that car. I love the Big Red Machine.
70s were a great time. I'll say that.
Yeah, the 70s were a great time.
No, it was a good van, so I really liked it. As far as my dream car, Joey, I just wanted to point something out, because you did say Firebird, right? You did say that one of your dream cars is Firebird. Yeah. So my uncle, who passed away last year, he had a Firebird, and I actually got his license plate. When he had that Firebird, he had like a 94 Firebird, and he had stuff on there like that I thought was real cool. I always thought it was a really cool car, because it was oh my gosh, what's the name of the brand of the car?
Pontiac,
yeah. My dream car.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna say the.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say.
But my dream car is a Trans Am. It's a 77 Trans Am.
Yes.
Black Trans Am. I just like same thing. It's like it has like the eagle and everything like that. Although I don't think I would want it. I would want to have the eagle on the car. But just like that black 77 Trans Am was like an all-time favorite for me. I have a couple others. I like Stingrays as well too. I would love to have a Stingray. But yeah, that's something about the Trans Am that I've always saw was fucking great. I would say a third one too that I really like is an El Camino. I've always liked the El Camino.
Oh, hell yeah.
Just you have the little trunk in the back, and you could have some people in the back, and just as you're driving, obviously you can't really do that now, but I just think it's such a slick car. People might not think it is, but I just think that it was a very classic car at the time. But those Trans Ams, man, those were just such a slick car to me.
Great looking.
77 ones were great. Yeah, no, they're great.
Pieces of shit though. Both the fight.
No,
you guys picked some piece of shit cars. Like You talked about going to the dealer all the time. You're still going to be going to the dealer because the Trans Ams and the Firebirds.
It's the same. It's under the same umbrella.
Yeah, it's the same umbrella.
Yeah, it's carburetors, of course, that they don't make in cars anymore.
Dougie, what do we got?
So my first car was a 90 Nissan Stanza. It was
shit.
Yeah.
Costanza?
Yeah, Costanza. Pretty much. Might as well have been. Yeah, I mean, dude, that little thing, it was so terrible. I bought it for $500. The transmission was shot. Me and my dad went to the junkyard, stripped the transmission, put a new transmission in it. It had zero suspension. So, yeah, if we had anybody of even just average human weight in the back, the fucking tires would grind if we hit like a bump or something or go over the train tracks. So it was a good first car. Let's just put it that way, put it nicely. It was a good first car. I am not. Yep, that's it, baby. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was black. That thing, you could hit some shit with that bumper. That bumper wasn't doing nothing, dude. that thing would. It was almost like a oversized bumper car. That's pretty much what it was. But as I was gonna say, you guys went real classic and everything like that, and I respect that. But my dream car is pretty practical. I can see myself probably getting it in a few years or so. But I'm a really big fan of the Kia Tellurides. The Kia Telluride.
Those are nice.
They're very nice.
Yeah, I want to get the I think it's called Midnight Edition or Black Edition, something. It's just black on black on black, and those things looks
murdered out.
Yeah. It looks so tight. Inside looks nice. Yeah, that's kind of my dream car right now. It's practical for me, so I believe you should achieve your dreams.
We're right here with those Tellurides are nice. I look at them like every 6 months, and it's like maybe, but not the way this economy is going. Thanks, Byron.
Byron. Who's Byron?
Who's Byron?
That's the. I'm gonna have to share a meme before.
All right.
Sandy says her first car was a '94 Windstar minivan. All right, so my first car, and this is not like it was by no luck of my own. It was, so I don't. It was nice at the time. So my dad's the oldest. He's the product of. He's got like 9 brothers and sisters. He had apparently lent my uncle money, and instead of paying him back, my uncle, who's like 20 years younger than my dad, gave him his car. He's like, I can't pay you back. Here, you can have my car. I had a it doesn't sound nice, but it was a 1996 Volkswagen Jetta. So I'm going to add it to the stage. It's this green one right here.
All right.
But my uncle at the time was probably like 26, 27. It had a full sound system, 2 kicker 12s in the back, really nice rims. It was tinted all the way around, and it was only like 6 years old at the time, the car. When I started driving. It was nice for a sophomore in high school. So like it was, I was so happy to be driving that thing around. What my dad didn't tell me was like that thing was sitting in our driveway for like 4 months before I got my license. And I knew, I was like, oh, I'm going to be driving this thing to school. Because the other thing was only seniors could drive to school at Stag. Even if you have a car, even if you have a license, there's only a certain number of parking spots. But we service the church across the street for landscaping. So they're like, you could park across the street. And it was literally the first parking spot across the street from school. So like everyone, like I was the only sophomore driving to school. So I had a new car. I had the sophomore, I had the parking spot. I felt like I was hot shit. And right before I got my driver's license, my dad took out the tints, took out the stereo, and took out the rims. And I was like, what the fuck?
Hey,
I
but
was
that
like,
parking spot was prime real estate.
But I was like, holy shit! I'm like, this is a fucking, at the time you said like, this is like a pimp car. It's got the system, it's got the audio and everything like that. And my dad's like, fuck that, you're driving a stock ass Volkswagen Jetta. And I was like, damn. Still great though. I love that guy.
No, I did too. I was, obviously, I would come by your house like every weekend, and then, that was a really good car. And then you still had the attachable radio.
The radio.
Yeah. So
yeah.
like, that was always good. You had a nice like sound system in there. I thought it was pretty good.
It was nice, but he probably like, I don't want this 16-year-old kid to be driving like with like, these nice rims and the tints. So he's like, they're gonna get pulled over right away. See, he probably did myself a favor, but at the time I was like, damn. And then so now I'm gonna get in trouble for sharing this story because Julie doesn't like this story, because my dream car was a car I almost had. I was this close to buying. Johnny, do you remember our neighbor when we were in Justice? He worked on cars all the time. Rudy. Before I got engaged to Julie, he was selling a 1967 Mustang, and it was beautiful. And he was going to give me a really cool, like a really good deal on it. It was only a 4-cylinder, so it wasn't anything like, but it was nice. And I was like, man, this is going to be my Sunday driver. I'll do like, pickup truck for work, and then I'll drive this Mustang on Sundays to Bears games and stuff like that.
Yeah, he would always have it parked, right? Like on the driveway.
Yeah, he would always have. Yeah, he would have it parked. He ended up giving it to his grandson or something, but he was going to give me a really, really good deal on it. But at the time, I only had enough money for an engagement ring or the car, and I ended up picking the engagement ring. And that was the right decision. I don't regret it whatsoever, obviously. But every so often, I'm like, man, I kind of need that Mustang. So I don't know when I'm going to have it, kids' tuition and mortgages and everything like that. But like one day, maybe I'll be in my 60s. I'm going to have to find that 67 Mustang.
Yeah.
I got to ask a question, and it's I've been talking to Sarah about this as well too. We got kids, and they're going to want to have a car and stuff like that. And I've had this conversation already. My daughter, she's only 7 years old. She's going to be 8, this year and all that. And, 8 years, it's going to fly by. It's going to go by. I can't believe she's 7 as it is already.
Yeah.
When they turn 16, are you going like your parents' route and going hey, you're going to get like this car that's like, like my dad just gave me that Dodge Caravan and all that, or you're going to go the route where you're going to be like, all right, we're going to get you something new, something a little bit more like, reliable and all that, what is the play on the kids, I don't know. Like, I don't know if you guys had that talk with your significant others, or sorry, your wives and all that, but I've already been talking about this discussion about like already and we're like, wondering like what we're going to do. She wants to buy something new, when she turns 16 and stuff like that. She wants a, reliable car or something new, something, that's going to get her. But I'm like, she's only going to go to like, she lives in the suburbs, so she's not going to go far. She's not going to go into the city or something like that. But I don't know. I don't know if you guys have that discussion already.
No, I'm not buying a new car I'm not buying a new car for myself. I'm not going to buy it for my kids. Like that's something like, you guys know the story. Like our Hyundai took a shit on us. Luckily, it was covered under warranty. The car's got 100,000 miles on it, technically 110,000 miles on it. We got a brand new engine in it. So if it lasts us another 8 years, she's driving this car.
She's getting that one. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's good.
Get rid of that car. If anything, I'll put another engine in that car because it's paid off, and it's like we're never getting rid of it. It's paid off. It's fine. It's got a brand new engine. It's it's older, but not even that old. It's like a 2016 now, but like at the time it was new when we bought it. But yeah, it's got a brand new engine. It's not going anywhere for the foreseeable future. That's the car Scarlett's going to drive.
Yeah, we really haven't had the conversation. We're just trying to take it one day at a time. But
it's a little early.
yeah, but I mean, I've had thoughts about it. I'm hoping by the time Madison Fresh is getting ready to get behind the wheel, I'm just hoping that they drive themselves by that point.
Yeah,
because
Teslas or
you
like
know,
every car's gonna drive themselves. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Yeah.
that's what I'm hoping, beyond hope or whatever. But I could really see us probably at that age upgrading something for ourselves and getting something nice for ourselves, and then like Peter was saying, just
Pass
hand
down
down
the car.
yeah,
That's
pass
a good
down
idea.
what we have or whatever. So
All right. We said this podcast was going to go long. So I'm going to give this question to the group because Jose's in the comments. He said, driving my stick in 98 Chevy S10. I had a Honda Civic. Right when Fast and Furious came out, I had a Honda Civic with rims and a spoiler. And
I remember that one.
And that's one thing, to this day, Julie, I'll talk to her every once in a while. And I was like, the one thing I miss about having a car instead of a pickup truck is I miss driving stick. I miss, just zipping around I-55 in like a Civic or, probably now a Subaru WRX or something like that. But I just miss driving stick. Can you guys drive stick? Joey, maybe you?
I have to for
work?
career purposes.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I thought
I've never drove stick before, so I'm gonna, I'm not gonna pretend that I know. So no, I've never drove stick before.
Yeah, when I first started at my place of work, we had a snowplow truck that was stick shift.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I do know how. I haven't in a long time. I'm going to tell you this. Stick shift is a whole nother beast when you're trying to salt and plow, and dude, it's
my first plow truck was a stick shift. It was a stick shift Ford. It was like 95 Ford stick shift, and plowing and having the controls was crazy.
It is, man. Like you got to be on your shit, man.
Yeah,
especially with the way that people drive nowadays, being super distracted with phones and stuff, dude. It's like
that's the worst.
Dude, it's crazy. So I'm glad that everything that we drive now is manual, to be honest with you.
Listen, I don't mean to dox this person whatsoever because I love him. He's one of my oldest friends.
Mm-hmm.
But Peter, I remember the story where...
Oh, Manny!
I was gonna tell you. Oh, I was gonna bring up
that story.
He went to buy that car.
So
oh my god!
We all know him. Joey P. He's one of your closest friends. I met him through Johnny. Jason's in the comments, or he might be out to dinner now, but he was in the comments. We all know our buddy Webble, and he bought this Nissan 250Z, fresh out of like 0 miles, straight from the dealer. Yeah, bright orange. It was a fucking awesome beast of a car. He didn't know how to drive stick. He's like, he didn't know how to drive. I drove that car home for him because I was the only one with a stick shift car. We won't tell the rest of the story because it's not our story to tell.
No.
He returned that car in like a week. He returned that car like if it was a pair of shoes.
I was there with him talking to the GM.
Oh, you were there. Yeah, Joey,
I was the one that did all the talking.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna have to. Joey, clip this and send it to Webble. Shout out.
I will.
He'll like.
We got
He will.
He will like this. That car was a beautiful car.
It was.
I drove.
I couldn't fit in
probably
it.
drove it
Those
more
were
than
nice cars. Those were really nice cars. I like those. Those were really slick cars.
All right. Before we get to Johnny and Dougie's question, which bad host, I should have asked your question first, Dougie. So we'll circle back to it. But let's play this ad for self-serving purposes. ShySportsBums.BigCartel.com is the home for all Chicago sports bums merch. We have Bears, Hawks, socks, and bums merch available. Anything you need to get ready for a big game or a Chicago sports bums event. Remember, all profits go directly back into our Whiskey at Comiskey tailgates to keep the beer and food free for everyone. So head over to ShySportsBums.BigCartel.com and pick up a couple 2 Tree shirts today. All right. So thank you guys. If you are so inclined to buy a shirt, 2 Tree shirts, all of those proceeds go back to our Whiskey at Comiskey tailgates. that start up in less than, I think, 35 days from now. Home opener is March 27th against the Angels. Will be in Lot B with Bubba's Whiskey. They are a sister company of Michter's Whiskey. So if you guys know them, they did our tailgate, home opener tailgate last year. Our good friends at Michter's. They're providing the brown liquor for the day, and we're excited about it. I know we're all counting down the days. We have a Google document available. It's on our YouTube page. It's on our Instagram. It's on our link tree. It's everywhere. If you do plan on going to the game, feel free to RSVP. That's just going to help us, count how many beers we have, all the food. We want to keep everything free for everyone. We want to have enough stuff for everything. So if you're going to the game, if you want to swing by, it's going to be a great time. Just hit up the RSVP, the Google Doc, and let us know how many people are coming and all of that fun stuff. But yeah, obviously, if you can, buy a shirt or a super chat, all of that stuff goes back into our tailgates. We're ready to go, man. So we're excited. All right, Johnny, you got a question.
Yeah, actually, this was actually a poll question that I put out, and a lot of people voted and all that. But I see this a lot, and from other people, and they mentioned it as well too. When you got chocolate candy, Kit Kats, or you got Reese's peanut butter cups and all that, you put it in the fridge. Do you like it room temperature? I know some people like it in the freezer. That was another answer that I was getting a lot as well too. When that poll closed, 71% love putting candy in the fridge. So I never really answered that question. I never really answered the poll question. I do like both in the fridge, but I'm more of like a room temperature. Once it's there, I'll just take it, I'll eat it. Boom, I'm done. I don't want to wait like 10 minutes or whatever time to let that thing get cold so that way I can eat it. So gentlemen, I'm asking you guys, I don't know if you guys voted or not. What's your guys' answer on this whole poll that I had out there? I'll start with Dougie. Dougie, go first.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'm not a big sweets guy, but I will tell you this though. There are certain things that I would put in the fridge. I would put like a Reese's peanut butter cup in the fridge. I would do like a Kit Kat in the fridge. Any type of like solid chocolate, like if it's one of those bars that you break and stuff like that, I will do that. But then there's a lot of stuff that just does not translate. There's like Snickers. Whenever you start getting that like creamy nougat stuff or whatever, and it starts to get hard, I'm not trying to break my teeth to try and like chew down on a piece of candy. Candy's already bad for your teeth in general. Like I don't need it damaging it as well, So, so it's really a based on what it actually is. That's
Joey.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I did, Johnny, by the way, I voted for freezer, and I'll tell you why. I learned growing up, especially, going to Speedway gas stations. We had those all over the place, especially 87th and Harlem, right? That was one of the main ones. And some certain gas stations you walk in, where they got their candy.
Mm-hmm.
So they would have like a sleeve or a shelf by where all the soft drink coolers were.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a freezer, but I was like, okay, well, I got to try that. Some the Jewels, Oscos, they would do the same thing. So I was like, okay, I got to try this. And I did, and I was hooked ever since. So that is my preferred method. Leave it in the freezer, whatever it is. Chocolate these days, it's Reese's peanut butter cup. Dougie, you just said it. I mean, that's the king, of course. So,
1-1.
But besides that, and a Snickers bar for me, I know they're the same company, but that's really all I mess with these days since I'm aging and I'm trying to take care of my teeth, like you just said. So
yeah.
But if that's the case,
I don't eat too much candy either. Like it's just once in a while when I there's times where I get a sweet tooth here and there, but I don't eat that much candy either.
Right. And I'll share, Sandy P's got like a Costco carton of Ferrero Rocher.
Hell yeah. Not in the fridge though.
No, No, she doesn't.
Good. Yeah, no. Those are fancy people. Those chocolate foil candies. Those are fancy people candies. I'm a big fan of the Ferrero Rocher. I drafted them in the Drafty Pod draft with Brian S. And I kicked everyone's ass because that was an elite pick by your boy right here. So yeah, I'm a room temperature guy. I eat my chocolate as God intended it to be. You don't have to put it in the fridge. Like that's just an extra step you take. There's no point to it. Like you're just making extra work for yourself. I don't think it adds better flavor. If I want a Snickers in the fridge or freezer, I'd rather have a Snickers ice cream bar. Those are elite. Snickers ice cream bars are delicious. Give me a Milky Way ice cream bar. But if it's regular chocolate, I want it room temperature. I don't like it. But Sandy makes a great point. This is something me and Julie do too. Chocolate room temperature, but gancitos. I don't put them in the freezer, but at least the fridge. So they get a little bit of a crisp them. For those that don't know what a gancito is, it's like a Mexican Twinkie, but it's chocolate instead of instead of thing. But you get a little crisp to the gancitos. It's more of a pastry than a chocolate. But they're delicious.
Yeah,
so
they've got like a little strawberry jam in them.
Yeah.
That was an elite move by Sandy P. But no, I don't. I text Johnny when you put that poll up there, and now I don't want to. The nation is divided enough as it is. I don't want to divide people any further. But I told Johnny, I said, chocolates in the freezer are a white people thing. Because I don't know anybody in my family that puts chocolate. And Joey, you're half and half. So
I'm half and half. So
it's the white in you that puts the
it's the Chris Stapleton side of me.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly the shirt proves the point. But yeah, that's what it is. People in the comment can comment and see what you like. But yeah, I'm room temperature guy.
Listen, there's no right or wrong answer in this one. I just put the poll up there just because I thought it was very interesting. And I've had the peanut butter cups. I've had the Kit Kats in the fridge. I've had that before. It is very good. I just think I'm just very impatient to be like, all right, I'm gonna get some Kit Kats. I'm gonna get some peanut butter cups. And I'm gonna put it in the fridge. Wait like maybe 10 minutes, and I'm gonna be like, I can't do that. Now you could say the same thing for like, oh well, what about pop? You're gonna drink pop warm or stuff like that? Yeah, I'll drink pop sometimes warm. That's just the way I am. I'm fucking weird. But I will say that yes, I've had the both like in the fridge. I never had a freezer though. I've never tried the freezer, putting it in the freezer. I think that may be a little too crunchy for me, or a little bit too hard. At that point, you might as well have ice cream.
It depends on what it is, like Dougie said.
Yeah. At this point, you might as well have ice cream. But it was just a simple question.
I do have to say, and I cannot let this segment go without saying this. Take fives are amazing.
Take fives are good,
dude. Mm-hmm. You get that salty pretzel. Those things are elite.
Underrated. Underrated candy bar.
Yeah. The other thing that I saw and we had once was the Reese's Big Cup. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The potato chip filling.
I like those. I like the pretzel ones.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like the salty pretzel ones too. Mm-hmm. Those are really good.
Yeah. Jams. I just had to throw that out there.
All right, Dougie. This is already the longest Bums Happy Hour presented by Jack's Place in the history of Bums Happy Hours, but we're gonna keep it going. What is what was your question for the group? Like I said, we got nothing to do. I got to go full close upstairs. So
I got a full chonies. So after this,
although Yumper might be doing a podcast at 8 p.m. I'm not sure about that. So maybe we cut it off before 8 o'clock. But we got time, baby. What do we got?
We got time.
Well, obviously, like as you said before, or whatever, we were going to start off with my question because it's going right back to hockey. So my question for you guys is, obviously, we were kind of I don't know how to say this. I feel I feel like we were kind of blessed not having any skin in the game, like having players in the game. Because we didn't have to make tough decisions like, hey, we got all these Blackhawks players and everything like that, on Team Canada, on this team, on that team. We didn't have players good enough to do that or whatever. But going forward, we're going to have a Connor Bedard on Canada. And with us not really having that Patrick Kane, Patrick Sharp, U.S. balance, where are you guys going to live when, hopefully these teams, these Hawks teams or whatever are, producing championships, playoff runs, everything like that. Now, when these Olympic teams start coming up, are you going to find yourself rooting for Canada a little bit just to see?
I'm going to tell you right now, Dougie, for those 2 weeks, and we've said Connor Bedard is a future. He's the face of the franchise. He needs to be treated as a. You need to work and build around Connor Bedard as the Blackhawks. For those 2 weeks, I hope the Kachucks run him over. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about Canadian hockey players. I want the United States to win. If it's Bedard or someone else, a next draft pick, anything else. Jonathan Taves, for those 2 weeks back when he was Canadian, he could be the captain of Canada. I don't give a fuck. I want him to lose. It's the USA, baby. And it's always been that way. It'll always be that way.
Right.
Listen, when it was the Olympics, when they had TJ Oshie, and it was like one of the best times. Obviously they bring up 96 as well too, and all that when they were bringing up the United States and Canada. But that TJ Oshie, that team was fucking awesome, and that was the one that they lost to Canada. That's where they had Duncan Keith. That's when they had Seabrook. I'm not rooting for Canada. I don't care if there's any Blackhawks players on there. You want your country to win. You want the country to win. You were not born in Canada. You were born in the United States. Right. So as much as I don't want them to get hurt, I love them. I hope that, it's a very fought battle. I'm definitely rooting for my country. I'm definitely rooting for my, that's anything, the United States all the way from just everything across the board. I think me and Peter, when it comes, or even Joey as well too, we're very pretty much similar to a lot of things when it comes to the United States and stuff like that. So I think that I can't and like I said, I love Connor Bedard. I know he's so young right now. He's 19 years old or 20, and he's just
19, 20.
Once he gets. And hopefully he actually plays. Who knows if he does play in that Canada team next year. But I'm with Peter. If any of the Kachuk brothers wants to go and fucking just smoke him, if he's on a nice pathway to hit a goal, I'm okay with it. That's fine. It's just what it is. Hey, it's just business. It's nothing personal. Okay, it's just business. It's sunny, type of
like Brett screwed Brett, Connor screwed Connor.
Yeah,
exactly.
I can just see Peter just cheering on, Bedard getting absolutely blasted, and then as soon as the closing ceremonies are done and he's out for 3 weeks, he's like, ah.
I know. To be honest, I thought about this answer thinking about now and how our feelings are now. If 4 years from now, the Blackhawks are the 1 seed and they're fighting for home ice advantage.
Yeah.
I still want them railroaded.
Yeah.
Well, wait, hold on. I am a little couple of tall boys in here over here. I ain't saying I don't want them ninja or anything like that. I just said that I'm going to not root for Canada. I'm going to root for the United States. I don't want them injured. That's what I'm saying.
No, I don't want them injured either.
No.
Yeah.
This isn't Sega Genesis Mutant League hockey that we used to play.
Yeah. If Kachuk is going to, just hit them a little bit so you know that, they're there, but don't,
in the words of Herm Edwards, you play to win the game.
Where are you at with it, Joey?
Me personally, I have to tend to agree with my hermanos Pedro and Johnny here about USA all the way. The World Baseball Classic that we just lived through was so great. Especially for us having several Sox players, right? representing before they all, became bad baseball players. Though having TA on Team USA was, and him doing so well from what I recall for the most part, was just something that was like he came off the Field of Dreams game, and then now this, and Team USA, we have to support 100% regardless, because as Johnny, you said, we were born here. So Team Mexico, am I going to keep rocking that beautiful M in all tricolors, el tri? Of course I am. My abuelitos, of course, would be mad at me up in the stars. So if I didn't, but yeah, Team USA.
But what if USA is playing Mexico?
That's what. Yeah, I was just going to ask.
Because I've drawn the line in the sand. You know my answer.
Yeah.
But
no, my answer is the same as yours. I love el tri, and when it comes to soccer, I'm with them 100%, especially in WBC too. But push come to shove, I'm Team USA when they're pitted against each other. Doesn't matter the sport.
So I had an interesting because you were talking about the World Baseball Classic. I had an interesting one where it was Mexico versus Puerto Rico. Obviously, I have Puerto Rico, Puerto Rican heritage as well too. And I went for Mexico. It's just like I just grew up in more of a Mexican culture where, and I have nothing against my, my Puerto Rican heritage as well too, but it was just more of I've been more close to the Mexican side than I am to the Puerto Rican side. And even if it went like, if Puerto Rico won, I'd be, just as happy. But, when it was like Mexico and Puerto Rico, I did go for Mexico in that point. So, but yeah, when it comes to like United States versus Mexico in soccer, or United States, Mexico in the World Baseball Classic, my ass is going to be stars and stripes. I'm waving that motherfucking Old Glory over here.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Oh,
yeah. I'm getting that at 2x4. But yeah, I am, USA all the way, baby.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, dude, that's just all I wanted to hear. I just wanted to see where you guys stood.
Wait,
are
you?
That stance.
You seem more.
Yeah.
You got the flag behind you, Dougie. So I already know you're strong arm.
No.
The answer here.
No.
No.
I mean,
tricking us.
Subliminal.
He's gonna pull the flag down. It's gonna be Canadian.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Bernard all the way.
Yeah. No, I was at the Hawks game right after they had won gold, and we actually booed them. Like it was a home Blackhawks game. It was a home Blackhawks game, and we booed them in their gold medals. So that's where I stand. Absolutely.
That was tough. I mean, I was very sad when that happened. I was as quiet as you can be when that goal happened in overtime, and I'm like, fuck, man, we're never gonna beat this team. And I know like we beat them on like last Saturday, and I get that all that, but there was a championship game. I want to see that. I want to see that come 2026. I want them to win that gold medal. That's my like. I know we talk about things as far as big as like, Peter, you said you're one of the biggest things is the United States. And I would want this too. The United States soccer team to win the World Cup. Will that ever happen?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if it doesn't happen, if it doesn't happen within the next 12 years, it's never happening because they got the best team right now. Talent wise, they're all playing in big teams in Italy and England and everything else. If it doesn't happen, then it's not going to happen. But I have in my head, I'm never going to see that. So if it does happen, it's wonderful. My question to you guys is, would you rather see the United States men's hockey team win next year as the gold medal in the Olympics, knowing that it's different rules, there's no hitting, it's a bigger rink, like the game is different, or like the next, World Cup where it's like NHL rules and the same NHL rosters?
I gotta go Olympics. I mean, Olympics is just, that'd be like, I don't even know how to put it in the thing, but it'd be like, Team USA soccer or whatever, not winning the World Cup, but winning, some other tournament, just not as big, Olympic stage, bigger rink, all that other shit. But world stage, I want. Yeah, I mean, dude, I had enough people like getting at me, Canadians, just for me saying good morning to everybody except Canadians. These motherfuckers were going at me yesterday, dude. But
you were
dude,
talking about
yeah.
maple syrup and stuff like that.
Yeah, Vermont syrup.
Yeah.
I'm with Dougie. I think right now with this, I love the way the tournament started. It's a great start to this tournament, and obviously they're going to be doing this. You said for the next 12 years. I just don't think that it has that that aurora just yet. I just think because the Olympics been around for many years and it has many history between both countries and all that. And obviously, I spoke about the one in overtime where they lost to Canada in Vancouver. I would want them to win that Olympics. I think it would mean a lot more at this time, and because it is next year, because there's a buildup now even more going into that. There always was, even if there wasn't a tournament this year, it still would have been a big deal, regardless of whatever it is. So I just think that going into the Olympics come next year, it's going to be hopefully the USA does come on top. They do win. We do see them winning the gold because I think it would be really special. It's just a nostalgia of the Olympics, I think, as well too. That I just think that if they were to win, that it's going to mean a lot more because it is representing your country. Not that saying like when we go into the tournament, like if they won yesterday, it wasn't a big deal. That Olympics. It's been around for such a long time. It's just tradition. So I think meaning a little bit more at the Olympics would probably be a bigger thing than winning the tournament as of right now.
Yeah, I guess that in my head, that was maybe a bad question only because like in soccer, the Olympics doesn't mean as much because they have the World Cup. But the World Cup of hockey, while they're working on it, and that's going to be the thing in the future, it hasn't established itself. So yeah, that's a good point. All right, before we wrap up, we got another super chat from Sandy. Sandy, you don't have to super chat. Appreciate it though. It's time for a shot. Cheers, guys. You guys doing a shot?
We're not even around Sandy, and she's still having us take shots. I would have to go get a shot glass.
I don't have a shot glass, but I can do a bottle.
I'll drink a beer. Is that okay?
We can do whatever you want. Joey P, what do you got going on?
Let's see. What I have last night. I have to grab something here. Hold on. Well, no, I mean I'll mix whatever.
It was a bad question. It was a bad question, Yumper.
It was. Yeah. I mean, I'll rip some wild turkey.
All right, I'm gonna do a Heaven Hill.
A Heaven Hill.
All right. Cheers to Sandy. Thank you to Sandy. And thank you everybody for watching. This was fun. Salud.
Cheers.
I'll wait for Joey. I'm sorry.
No,
Joey.
It's all good.
I went
as if we were eating right now at a restaurant. I am taking forever.
We're gonna take an hour to take that shot.
Salud, hermanos, and everybody in the comments.
Cheers. You know what else I was just thinking about? You know how awesome it would have been if that was just a little mini like 3-game series last night.
Yes.
And like last night, last night was the first game.
Well, even if it was get rid of the tournament, just do a best of 3, USA versus Canada. We don't need Finland and everyone else.
Then do
just make it a best of 3.
Do best of 7 then.
If you're eliminating everything else, go best of 7.
No, because you're still doing it in the middle of the NHL season. This is technically their all-star break. So it's got to be best of 3. You could do best of 3.
I don't know. I kind of like the little tournament just because you have, I mean, you still got like a lot of good players in Finland and Sweden, obviously Germany and Russia. Obviously Russia wasn't, because of other reasons, but I don't know. I kind of like the tournament because it just like builds, anything could happen. We were talking about the playoffs. Anything could happen in any given moment. So I just feel like a playoff format would be a lot better. That's why I was saying the whole thing with college football. You can't have 4 teams. You have to have all these other teams because you never know who's going to go to the finals, who's going to go to the championship. And you could have that Cinderella story going to the finals. And it might mean so much to that, whoever's the fan base of it. But But obviously, to people who are like, hey, I don't want to have the United States versus like Sweden in the finals or stuff like that. It doesn't have the nostalgia or anything like that. So it all depends, like, how the tournament goes. But I like the tournament. I like the format. I think it's just a little bit better going that route.
I would have asked the same question. Who would have been supported between Kendrick and Drake, for some of these responses tonight on tonight's show, because there's a lot of USA versus Canada talk here.
Oh,
I don't even think Canada people like Drake right now either.
Yeah.
So I think he's kind of like in an island.
He came out with a new album this week, and I saw. Shout out Nicky Smokes. He was at our Whiskey Comiskey tailgate last year. The Barstool guy. He's from Miami. He moved up to Chicago. He's been doing good content. I like Nicky Smokes, but he was trying to defend Drake this week because he came out with this new album. He's like, "This is the best album." Kendrick's old school, like Drake's back, and like no one was listening. Like no one cares. No one cares.
I mean, I will the little small like congratulations to Drake. I did like the coming out on stage with the bullet holes with the smoke coming out of it. That was kind of good. And then wait, I don't know if we were going to talk about this on the Bumcast because I know Jason. Did you guys see that video of the drone in his balcony?
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
that was funny.
Maybe I'm
trying to throw a chocolate,
but maybe I'm like incessantly online. I immediately spotted that was fake as hell. That was staged. That was not real. But like everyone was acting like it was really an invasion of privacy and it's a real video. Did you guys think it was real? It's fake as fuck. I'll tell you guys that much.
But that was a real Drake.
That was the real Drake, yes. Yeah. But
it was that's like the way he really throws.
That's I was about to say with that throw.
So I think I've seen Drake throw before. I don't think that I don't think that's fake.
Yeah.
But everything else could be staged. Yes, I totally agree.
Yeah. I seen his opening. He threw out a ceremonial first pitch once, and it was pretty bad.
Yeah. I think that's how he really throws.
Here's my whole thing about it.
So it was for whatever was on screen. I think it was for like a gambling site or I forgot whatever it was like, like the drone panned up and whatever was on screen for the laptop was the commercial. And then you see Drake like the worst abuelita ever throwing the fucking chancla. But like it was, the biggest high rise in fucking Toronto. Like there's no chance you're throwing if you throw a sandal and it goes out the window, you're killing somebody or it's landing on a car. It's a problem. So like, that's why like he sidearmed it. And I know he throws bad, but like he sidearmed it right to where like you could still see like the paneling of like the plexiglass over the balcony. It's like, you can't fucking throw that thing out into the public. It's like, you're going to kill somebody.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just for me, if it was staged, it's like, damn, dude, like, that's the best, huh? Like that's the best throw.
Yeah, you probably could have, filmed it a couple more times and kind of take the best take. But I
mean, at
people were arguing.
It was going to come
out.
I think Jason was saying like, no, I think it was real. Like I've been online too much to know what's real and what's fake.
Yeah.
I don't think AI and Grok and all those, like nothing's tricking me yet. Eventually, it's going to happen, but my eyes are keen to them now.
I don't know. I saw that one picture of Andy Reid kissing Taylor Swift. It looked pretty.
That looked real as fuck.
that was real. That was definitely real.
Could have happened. We don't know. Who are we?
No doubt about that one.
Yeah, Andy Reid's a beast, bro.
Maybe Taco, if he's still in the comments, can answer that one.
Yeah, he knows the truth.
He knows the truth.
All right,
he's probably having an hour
40-minute. Right yeah, he's ketchuping it up. You know what? I said it out there last happy hour, but I actually have to throw out the invites. I want a Royal Rumble of the entire Boneheads and Brewski's crew with the bums in like a happy hour setting. Like just straight up Royal Rumble. We could just do this for hours and hours. No topics, just gangbusters. I think that would be fun. So I got to send out the invites. It'll be a good time.
Hell yeah.
I'm with it. Just bring it.
That's all we got. Is that all we got?
That's all we got.
That's all we got.
All right. So we will be back Monday for the Bumcast. We got a lot to talk about then. All of the Whiskey Comiskey RSVPs are all over our social media pages, Instagram, Twitter, the link trees, everything else like that. Thank you guys for the comments. Thank you, Sandy, and everyone else for the super chats. Julie, Gordo, I think Drew. Who am I missing? Obviously, Yumper.
Gordo.
Thank you, everyone, for the super chats. Yeah, Gordo. And then we'll see you guys Monday. No, my brain's not fried. I was going to promote the Tequila Bums. We're recording content tomorrow for the Tequila Bums. So we got Bourbon Bums on Tuesdays, Tequila Bums on Thursdays, all of that fun stuff. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to Jack's Place, as always, presenting sponsor of the Bums Happy Hour, 7000 West Southwest Highway in Chicago Ridge. We got baseball coming starting tomorrow, spring training. March Madness is coming soon. Johnny, your Illini will probably be in the tournament. All of those games, Jack's Place.
Will they?
7,000.
Will they?
Nah, they should be in. They're good.
They've been sucking it up, and they face
They're
Duke
good. They're
tomorrow.
good.
They face
This is
Duke
not a-
tomorrow.
This is not a college basketball podcast. I'm just promoting Jack's Place. Go watch the games there. Thank you guys. Salud. We'll see.
Let me talk about more about the Illini.
Get out of here.
Keep going. Keep going.
Amazing.
No. I love you all.